Good evening. It is yet another Sunday. I am live again. Let's get what I can of myself on screen. Hello. My name is Zojel. I am, have been, and always will be your very own stranger. And today we're continuing on with Cultist Simulator. I would say we are in proper mid-game now. So, we're gonna be doing a decent amount of painting and committing crimes. Both of those things will happen. As you can see, last time we ended on making this painting of the door in the eye. He came from the glory we cannot help but see. This is a painting. Paintings are tools and are really useful. Useful as tools. This one in particular is useful because it matches our cult. Unfortunately, making this painting also gave us notoriety. So we have to deal with that, because I would like not to get arrested, please. If at all possible. We also have this intensity of radiance I should probably use. So we do a right of the map's edge. Not with red. We do use some intensity of radiance. If I add knock, I can attempt a summoning, which I do want to do. Right, but then I need an instrument. And none of my instruments are useful for this particular thing, so I need to do this differently. This requires sacrificing lore, which I'm not willing to do. And this requires sacrificing a person, which I'm also not willing to do. So, well, I guess we're letting that decay then. It's fine. It'll turn into fascination, but that's not the worst thing in the world. Unfortunately, if I want to make more paintings, I need to commit more crimes. Because making those paintings kind of is a crime. But as long as I don't let the evidence collect, I can take the notoriety. I just need someone on standby to be able to destroy the evidence. Which, in fairness, I can just do with a Walking Dead, with a voiceless dead. Ooh, a fortune teller. I could use one of those, I think. Anyway, one thing we can do with this painting of the door in the eye is promote our followers. So, promote a believer. To promote a believer to a disciple, I'll need to provide an appropriate aspect for the cult, to at least the 7th intensity. The aspect of the Mirror of Glory is Lantern. This organization venerates a principle called Lantern, which we call upon in the name of the Door in the Eye and the Flower Maker, among others. This painting has 8 lantern aspect in itself. All paintings do. Well, not all lantern, but they all have 8 aspects. My follower will kneel as a novice and rise as an initiate. I will administer the necessary oaths myself. So, we're gonna be dealing with a whole lot of promoting the cult today. And in particular, I would like a better heart person, because I do need to be able to deal with notoriety if I'm gonna be creating this much. And we will be using some piebald pigment. Piebald? I don't know how you say that in English. From the crushed wings of the laird Lepidopterans. Painting black or painting white, this is the stuff that you'll see right. And it'll be a wordy medium. Hi, Vay. A wordy medium. Let the critics argue over what color this actually is. Perhaps they'll come to blows. Yay, chaos! And that creates a rattling in the soul and the moth. In the forests of the first continent, our ancestors cursed themselves with their own god. And now I gotta wait for that passion to come back. He navigates, but you are the map. He illuminates. You are the darkness. He is not compassionate. You will not show compassion. Our compass is knowledge, and our course is glory. Leo still yearns to preserve what is good and valuable, but he understands that to protect one's ideals, one must sometimes do questionable things. Destroy that thread, make a fleeting reminiscence out of what remains. And maybe send that fortune teller to destroy that evidence, even though he's not particularly suited for it. Or maybe I can just summon a fucking ghost. Summon the voiceless dead. That might be a better way of handling that. The only problem, of course, with that is that I do need... Right, you can't study vitality, unfortunately. Oh well. Out of curiosity, I can't sacrifice this fortune teller. I can sacrifice the fortune teller. That is not at all fucked up. God, this thing is turning into a bit of a mess. That works. Meanwhile, more crimes. Rose Pearl dust. Pearls are sacred to the witch and sister, especially those of this color. They have been used in protective rites, among others. So much restlessness. Dorothy's enthusiasm has become obsession. She will not cease, and how she loves to dance. Clovette's optimism is daunting. She wields her joy like a hammer. Oh shit, I missed the worthy medium. Oh well, that's fine. How about I take all this reputation and a little bit of passion and use it to burn some of this restlessness away. The sister and witch. She has been a pair of funeral birds, but here she is as she would wish to drown. Not at all horrible. Nah, I'm just gonna let that go. I'm gonna move this up one so it spills into the rest less. Ooh, a subtle fracture. Renera commands admiration wherever she goes. She reserves her attentions for those who merit admiration in return. Let's summon a voiceless dead, shall we? Or at least let's try. Watchman needs to leave me the fuck alone. Jesus Christ, man. So, is anyone besides a weary detective going to catch a hint about the cult? That depends entirely on if the weary detective is no longer able to do the investigation or not. The Suppression Bureau knows, but it is his case, and apparently that's how that works. So, in short, there can only ever be one hunter on the table at any time. Unless some weird shit happens, there can be two technically, but only one will ever be active. But if something weird happens where the current hunter is being distracted somehow, then a new hunter gets drawn before the current hunter is off the table. Of course, the voiceless dad is being a dick. But yeah, the weary detective is always the first hunter, and if you kill him or somehow make him unable to perform his duties, then more competent hunters start showing up. You can imagine why I don't really like doing that. Sylvia's favorite tactic is to... Wait a minute. These two don't match. Sylvia, you should be here. Sylvia's favorite tactic is to smile and close her eye. It is remarkable how often her interlocutor will blurt out exactly what they are thinking. If I win this run, in the next run there will be a rival that also knows about the cult in a very inconvenient way. Celebus... Oh, hang on. I'll just keep this running. I have a lot of people to promote. 27 minutes of people, in fact. Celebus' pleasures are taken in a room without windows. His compassions return to him again and again, even though each time they are a little less. Son of a bitch. No real reason to search the city, is there? I'm just gonna go to the white door. Porter goes unnoticed until he's ready. To the point. Kinda need to hire this one. Ooh! That is well timed, this favor from authority. Well, kinda. And the man has made damning evidence, because of course he has. Let's see if the shifty woman can do something about it. I don't have strong hopes, but you never know. Also, I have dread piling up. That's not good either. If I'm lucky, it picks this dread first. If not, I have a problem. Oh, that is well timed though, this. We'll take it for the truth. I think I've read this one already. Wait, I didn't read the favor promote. Shit. I forgot to do that. Okay, so this decays by itself. This will feed into that. I might have lucked out a little bit. Won't even need the favor from authority. Well, that last part isn't true. That's unreal. Dojal, you are stupid sometimes. Holy! The shifty woman has returned wounded. That's not great. Right, immediate crisis averted, but we still have a crisis. Of course it picks the... not that it matters. Hooray, fascination. Last time, in the billowing blue of the Lodge of the Sage Knight, I sat on velvet cushions and watched two dead contend with shining swords. They came with the place, said the woman who rules here now, the one who was once called herself Galmier. I was not the Sage Knight, if that's what you're wondering. He went higher in the mountains, long before I came here. My attention has drifted. The swords sparkle like falling water. The dead move like dancers. I can handle a little bit of fascination. Isabeth was just here, just a moment ago. Just here. Almost certain. Spirit Swindler, you are getting hired, sir. Shifty woman's wounds are her problem, but I do need someone to deal with this evidence before it becomes a problem. The Lodge of the Sage Knight. In the last night's dream, I was in the Lodge of the Sage Knight, behind the white door. It is difficult to remember exactly how I came there, and the mistress of the place, the woman with the dark glasses, was nodding as if I had asked her a difficult question. Of course I had. I lost my speech when I passed the white door. How is it that I can speak? She said to me. I didn't come here through the white door. I'm not proud of what I did to come here. So let me tell you about something else. I guess I should have said that as how is it that I can speak? Mr. Experienced Swindler, please solve my problems. Where's the evidence? Here's the evidence. Meanwhile, let's just explore the strange streets by moonlight. And do something about that restlessness before it causes problems. Why do I have notoriety? Not that it matters. Oh look, more restlessness, because of course. Nah. I hope that Swindler does his job. A Forgotten Chronicle. Last night I visited the lodge of the Sage Knight. My hostess manifested as an elegant woman with fashionably short hair and dark glasses. No, she admits, I don't need them any more than I need eyes. Allow me my sentimentalities. But you've come for knowledge, I expect. Here's a story I heard in my Cadishan days. You're welcome to it. Only remember me if you come. Only remember me if you come to make the pilgrimage. Those commas are weird. I really need to get someone to deal with the curse in St. Agnes Hospital. The problem is I would need to remember what the obstacle is, and I don't, so. The wolf. Ah, shit. Ugh. There is zero way. Where is Mr. Swindler? Can I? There's no point. The wrong kind of attention indeed. I should have taken the favor. I am so stupid. Kinda need to heal him, unfortunately. As long as he's busy dealing with the mystiques, he's not He's not pulling that evidence away. I might... Well, fellas, this could be a problem. That notoriety expires. This one needs to go off the table though. Last night, in the great pavilion above the grey sprawl of the Bounds, a woman who once called herself Teresa Galmier sat on gilt-fringed cushions and offered me a horn cup of dream wine. The wine is imaginary, she explained, but the cup is not. To navigate the monsters, one must understand the distinction. Perhaps one day you'll join me on the pilgrimage, or I will join you. So here, let us share a secret. And her breath tickled my ear. This game is trying to kill me, which I suppose is fair. I did say it would. Are you fucking shitting me, dude? No funds! Yeah, I, ran out. I'm kinda dealing with something at the moment. The painting might provide me with some. See, the funds... See, I would prioritize the funds more if I wasn't about to get put on trial. I recall my dream. This was a lodge of blue silk, flapping in the winds of the Bounds at the monster's edge. And here was its mistress, who welcomed me as she welcomes all travelers. Company is nice, she confided, but I still miss my Christopher. 10 years. 10 years and not enough. But we could not have been long together. Not without touching each other. And you know what occurs to me when a man long lies with a long woman. Or perhaps you don't. I hope you don't. I won't tell you, just in case. I will give you a tiny gift. I think I've read that one before. You're surprised it's a trial and not an inquisition. That's really civilized. Well, we are in the 19th century. Well, we are somewhere in the 20th century. Late 19th. Like, the date of 1890 has come up, so we are somewhere in the 20th or 21st century. The Bureau considers my case. My adversary has convinced the Suppression Bureau to consider my case. The Bureau is charged with the punishment of the less usual type of criminal. The criminal whose crimes may exist only in dreams. Now, will I get lucky? I've had some bad luck with this shit so far. Holy shit, a favor from authority. Thank God. Last night, I dreamt of a blue silk pavilion overlooking the cloudy labyrinth of the Bounds. I listened to the mistress of the place speak of other visitors. The Suppression Bureau come here. Did you know that? I think they hope to recruit me as an ally, she snorts derisively. After what they tried to do to Christopher? But their folly is your fortune. I will tell you something that may help you if the Bureau ever troubles you. Oh god, that was just in time. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm gonna, Vay. I'm gonna. A trial. The Suppression Bureau is seeking an associate of mine for questioning. If they can't find one, they'll come after me directly. And I would rather like not to lose my disciples, sir. Speaking of disciples, Slee, a disciple. Slee's headaches have become crippling, but his theories grow more practical by the day. His poetry's getting better, too. Also, I'm gonna sell one of these. One of these thin spin 3i. I can always get more. What am I promoting people for? So, a believer has an aspect power of 2. A disciple has an aspect power of 5. Generally, obstacles have thresholds of aspect powers of 1, 5, and 10. So two disciples can get to 10, which is really nice when I go into places that have fucking curses like St. Agnes Hospital here does. Because curses are really annoying. So, there are crimes the state does not openly recognize. My associate has been implicated in one of those. The Suppression Bureau holds its trials in closed court, and they are not merciful. Unless I can take advantage of a connection, my associate may be gone forever. I don't know if you can reuse. Can you just get through it by letting someone else unqualified get cursed instead? Unfortunately, I'm the one getting cursed. Even though I'm not the one going on the expedition. I'm honestly surprised none of that dread has gone anywhere. Clifton's devotions have grown complex. His eyes have grown wide and shining. His voice has become even louder. Hey, I got the price doubling effect. That's nice. One subtle fracture. I have called in a favor with a person of note. It'll probably shield me, but nothing is certain. The Bureau's fury. My associate has been exonerated. The evidence was not sufficiently compelling to convict them, and they're free to go, though they may harbor a grudge against me. The Bureau has been stymied for the moment. Right. I need to deal with that notoriety, though. Also, Rose has resentment now. Right. So, step 1, deal with that notoriety. While I try to summon something. Can I? No, I need stronger Grail for that, don't I? Well, that's too bad. Well, there's always a classic. Waking Chant, Elagabaline Manacle. Sickness I can deal with. Sickness is fine. A Forgotten Chronicle. Right, we've mostly stabilized. I would still like this tentative evidence to go away. But I am no longer under acute danger. I kind of wish I could feed this some vitality. Holy shit, I summoned one of the voiceless dead. These motherfuckers have been quite a pain in the neck. Generally, if possible, you want to send spirits on expeditions. Because they are just better than your cultists. Anyway, Katkaro. She still performs in the theater sometimes. Katkaro, the posters say, finds the way. Katkaro finds the path. Katkaro knows the way. And of course the charm fails, because of course it did. Remember to not stay sick. Yes, that is a weird thing to say. Unfortunately, my edge lore isn't strong enough to deal with to use the Martensite paste yet, or the Vital Pigment. But that's fine. Once I have a full collection of... I'm gonna keep exploring the streets. Just in case you're wondering, though I'm not getting cut off, I'm just trailing my voice. It's not a good thing to do, but that is what is happening. Oh look, I got sick again. The voiceless dead destroyed the evidence. I guess I don't need the subtle fracture then, but I have it now. Ledlaw! You're up next. Funny enough, Faye, there is one thing that I can do that I can just pawn off on one of my followers. It's not getting cursed, though. It's arguably worse. It involves dear Miss Poppy Lascelles over here. Ledlaw has learned the cleverer use of fire and copper, wax and acid. I promise I know how to speak. Nah, there's no point in doing that. One thing I wish I could do in this game is designate a spot for the health to go so that I don't have to manually keep piling it back onto its spot. I'm gonna change my priorities a bit so that we can get the show on the road. Valsian is not a machine. We are reasonably confident of that because she has been observed now and then to commit quite human errors. Victor has sharpened his cunning to a concentrated point. For the record, there is an auto stack button, but that button only works properly if you have a stack at all, otherwise it moves your stack around, or like it picks one card at random to be the main stack, and that gets annoying, so I tend not to use it. I'm sure you could mod that problem out of the game, but I have chosen not to. The Petals of Renown. Elridge is waiting patiently until it's time to knife someone again. Alright. Sure. That's not concerning at all. More restlessness, gotta paint. Violet is always very careful. I mean, it is the aspect of silence. I suppose being brief is the point. Oh look! Even more restlessness. God damn, please stop! Old, unhappy, far-off things. While Claire rarely speaks, she chooses her words with care, and even her movements have become economical. She is never seen to blink. Why did I just get a dread? Oh, because... oh, whatever. One dread's probably fine. Even though I should probably do something about that. But that's not urgent. Neville's gaze has grown furtive, and his voice is sometimes shrill. He speaks freely of his dreams. Yes, I know I'm a real streamer, thank you. Alright, who's ready to go to get Gerstad Hospital? They did St. Agnes Hospital. They did good work here, once. Certainly there were a few too many amputations, but then there are individuals one would prefer not to walk the city streets. I believe heart aspect can avert the curse? Not sure. Only echoes walk the hospital halls now, but malice lingers in the air. We must search meticulously, room by room. Enid sees what others do not. It is becoming difficult for her, but it is very useful. Hey look, Phelan, it's you. It even has all the letters in. It even has all of the letters. There is some way that makes sense. It even has 4 of the 7 letters in your name. There you go. Okay. Dry soul curse. We need heart or lantern to suppress this curse. Otherwise, it will not keep us from our goal, but it may trouble us later. And by trouble us later, it means it will eat one of my stats, which I would not like not to happen. Thank you very much. Though I'm sure it will be Very fun to watch. Well, let me get a good night's sleep. We call upon the Ringyu, who is renewed. We are strong enough in heart to be almost entirely secure against the curse. Whoops, that's already a disciple. Tristan will do what is necessary. To create, sometimes one must first destroy. The curse shrivels. Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. Hooray! I should probably translate these books. Not gonna read them yet, but I should translate them. Promote. Rose has sharpened her cunning to a concentrated point. I feel like these two have the exact same... Are these twins? It would be funny if these two were twins. And also appropriate because edgelings often comes in pairs. Oh look. There we go. Some restlessness to burn. The Violet Chamber. What was this place? The door bore no sign. There were no windows. The walls were painted a rich violet, rich even now after the ravages of rain had through the leaking ceiling. A rotting chair has leather straps on the arms. The floor is porcelain and runneled. That is a word I don't recognize. Runneled. That doesn't help. Apparently it has channels. Leaky. Maybe. There is a padlock cupboard in the wall. It does not long resist our strength. It contains instruments tipped with flint and glass. Instruments one would not expect a surgeon to use. It contains other matters of more interest to us too. The Rose of Hypatia. Hey look, I think that is a complete section. And the third volume of the Locksmith's Dream. Okay. And some stained gloves. Those are less interesting. And now we can... go explore the Shires. A furtive truth. A detail smuggled in from an adjacent narrative. Don't speak this where you may be overheard. Exploring with this scrap of knowledge may uncover secret locations in the Shires. Odd nooks remain in the quiet countryside, here and there, for those who know where to look. No point in spending money just to make the same amount of money back. The place behind desire. Is there something to be learned from the satisfaction of desire? This is something like enlightenment. A lively disciple, loyal, and always ready with a song. So yeah, you can also promote the pawns. They will only ever get 2 aspect power because they have pawns. I'm also going to be skipping over the moth pawn for now. It probably is, yeah. Can't really do a whole lot about it, but yeah. Sorry about that. Loyal, but greedy. Well, that's not what I want. In the invisible arts, Christopher Ilopoli is said to have remarked, are as profitable as macrame, as ethical as tobacco smuggling, and in general as beneficial as roulette. Still, there is always the Orchard of Lights. And indeed, the orchard, with its glowing fruit and its peaceful mist, is a place to be yearned for. Last night I walked there in the peaceful hours of the deep sleep night. Even after waking, I still carry with me a little of the glory of the old sun. I'm just gonna kill that fascination before it becomes a problem. The sturdy disciple is loyalty and muscles. I guess they couldn't find a noun for that. Or an adjective? Alright, let's read the Rose of Wasney. The heretical teachings of a disgraced offshoot of the Sisterhood of the Knot, that arcane contemplative order that existed in all histories. This was recorded by Wasney and dedicated to the Saint Respicuous. The offshoot favored by Wasney, the true sisterhood, followed Saint Respicuous in pursuing ascension in the name of the door in the eye, the merciless hour of light. The Saint Respicuous failed, perhaps because the larger sisterhood tracked him down and ritually strangled him. But Wasney outlined steps for those who hope to succeed. That sounds like there's a ritual in that. A practical disciple, loyal and good with their hands. Might actually let that fascination decay. Seek in dreams. Seek the monsters. The third mark can be achieved only when one has passed the stag door. One must pass the wood. One must rise to the white door. The stag door awaits the light bearer in search of the Girby. I don't know what that word is. The Rose of Nuriel. A volume of collected teaching of the Sisterhood of the Knot, that arcane contemplative order that existed in all histories, but in some was very powerful indeed. This was recorded by Nuriel and dedicated to Saint Tryphon. Saint Tryphon, Nuriel explains, performed secret miracles in the name of she who bleeds and bears and she who opens. Thus, Saint Tryphon opened the way to the house of the sun. Thus, Saint Tryphon underwent the great birth and ascension to immortality. I should probably keep these going. That's not threat, so that's fine. A percipient disciple, loyal and keen-sighted. Saint Tryphon began his ascension by passing the horned door. He continued it by learning the invocation Tiatic, which Nuriel does not here record on account of its extreme holiness. And Nuriel explains, grimly, to achieve the 7 marks of the Great Birth, Saint Tryphon consumed both those whose soul had left them, and even those in whom the soul remained. Alright. The Rose of Hypatia. Hypatia? I don't know what it's supposed to be Greek, I think. A volume of collected teachings of the Sisterhood of the Knot, that arcane contemplative order that existed in all histories, but in some was very powerful indeed. This was recorded by Hypatia and dedicated to Saint Nympha. Saint Nympho is described as not born, but cultivated. The sentence that became the saint, Hypatia indicates, inhabited a sinner's corpse in order to enable that sinner's redemption. Oh, the sentience that became the saint. So the first was lantern oriented, the second was grail oriented, so this one should be forge oriented. You know what, let's get this commission going. From low tier lantern lore. Write a brief treatise on the lore of the lantern. This may be useful for a commission. Funny thing is I can do the very substantial heart one too. A silent disciple, loyal and quiet as falling snow. Not all dead enter the monsters by the winter door. Not all the dead enter the monsters at all. Alright, that did not seem forge related. Oh well. Anyway, the Locksmith's Dream. The first volume of Teresa Galmier's examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. Oh, Teresa Galmier, that woman from the Lodge of the Sage Knight. I see. The parallels in mystic dreams experienced by carpenters, masons, and other artisans, and what they purport to reveal about the architecture of the world. Sometimes mordant, sometimes funny. No one has ever explained why Galmier devoted herself to this quixotic exploration of artisans' dreams. Quixotic? I don't know how to say that. Well, there was also a word in there that I needed to look up. Oh, right, mordant. Right. Biting and caustic in thought, manner, or style. Damn you, Alexis Kennedy, and your advanced vocabulary even by my standards. And by advanced, that probably just means old. And now, finally, a dexterous disciple. Loyal and clever with locks. And we have one pawn left, but first we're gonna have a chat with Miss Popula, an amiable woman of property. She'd like to talk to you. My dear, I've been wanting to talk to you. Sometimes I fund scholars of the invisible arts. I'd like to offer you my support, a substantial contribution. And all you need to do, someday, is to introduce me to someone else who'll end matters properly. She smiles benignly, had passion to accept, or reason to interrogate her further. I know what she's going to ask, but let's read it anyway. Someone who'll end matters properly? Let's hear her out. Time and time again we hear of the wood, which rises from the world's foundation. All trees reach for the light. What does the wood reach for? Is there a difference between light and light? I think the key to dreams of the wood might be one of these, the one that isn't exactly real. The Locksmith's Dreams, Portions and Proportion, the second volume of Theresa Galmier's examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. The frontispiece has been slashed with a razor. In this volume, Galmier records fewer dreams and explicates more of her own elaborate theories. We see this again and again. What is below can't escape what is above. What is below can't escape what is above. I need to read ahead before I need to learn to read ahead a little before I read it. Yes, but also no. But sure, that is an interpretation of that. That is acceptable. Meanwhile, I've laid out my next set of expedition targets. Yes, when the seasons of Rags comes round again, my sponsor will require someone for an ending. You can provide someone sufficiently loyal, or you can provide yourself, as you prefer. I don't want to be in any trouble. So, translated, she wants me to sacrifice someone. Now, we're gonna take her up on this offer. Yes, that's exactly right. I'll come back to that. The finest artisans all dream of the white door in the end. I'm no artisan, only a scholar. I think there's a secret that all these artisans know. But I think that secret is only half the story. And now I have a complete set of secrets, and also a complete second set of the second tier. The Locksmith's Dream, Trespassers, the third volume of Theresa Galmier's examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. In this volume, notoriously, Galmier's prose begins to disintegrate, and it is not clear which dreams are in fact her own. And Kedishim, so that set is complete. I'm not gonna send the expeditions immediately though. Mostly because I would like the Voiceless Dead to help me with the expeditions. A tiny packet of tiny treasures, a gift from Poppy. She'll see me again in the season of Rags, for me to make the introduction I promised. So now I have this timer, Poppy's request. In the season of Rags, Poppy will return. Now, I've been somewhat shy about hurting my people, so why did I take this offer? Because I do have to pick someone loyal. I'll read that in a bit. Well, there is one person who I'm gonna lose anyway, and if I don't, they're useless. And that's this pawn over here. The pawn of the moth aspect. Speaking of which, I'm missing a pawn somewhere. Where is my health pawn? Oh. Anyway, the woman in the sand-colored robe has told me the stairways of the monsters go ever up. Death is down. The mother of ants guards both directions with each of her heads and so the passage must always be through a wound. I think the white door might be a wound. That's one reason the dead sometimes pass it. I think I have the other half of the secret now, and I hope my reader can put both halves together. The Locksmith's Dream, Stolen Reflections. The fourth volume of Teresa Galmier's expansive work, no longer a discussion of the dreams of artisans, but a valuable survey of other works. The tone is calmer than that of Trespassers, but occasionally fearful, even paranoid. The volume was published in 1926, but almost immediately recalled and pulped by the publisher, at the request of the author, or possibly the authorities, depending which story you believe. A few copies survive. Janus is the god gatekeeper, the twin god, the god that wounds, the presager of changes, the sun, the moon. So we identify him with the watchman, the twins, with the mother, and with the ford, with the meniscate and the madrigal. He cannot be all these, can he? The Flamines knew the church, knew the dry man, knew Elagabalus. Is he then synthesis, or is he something else? In Galicia, they call him Janus Lamius, but the Obliviates are notorious for their slanders. So now we have promoted our final pawn, an erratic disciple, loyal if peculiar, peculiar even for one of our kind. So the erratic disciple has a small problem in that he has a timer unlike the other pawns. In 10 minutes after you promote him, this dude goes insane and is no longer useful as a follower. That, however, does make him useful as a sacrifice right now. Janus has, they say, not one face, but two, to which I reply, why only one? Why only two? Hersault and Cosley, according to Thomas Love Denman, once agreed that Janus was all the gods and none, but later Hersault insisted he was all the gods, and Cosley favored simply none. Denman was a sinister dilettante, but this rings true of them both. Janus the Gatekeeper is an interesting figure in the world of secret histories, because even in a world of esoteric knowledge, this dude cannot. It is very hard to get a straight answer on who this dude is. I'm not sure where that contentment. Oh. Because I'm exploring the strange streets by moonlight. We continue translating things. Well, I guess I'm not fixing that restlessness. Actually, yes I am. Because I have a fleeting reminiscence anyway, and that also cures fascination. I could pick up my old job back, but I can't be bothered. It's kind of a hassle. Which I'm sure is very realistic. The contentment works, but I'm gonna continue exploring the strange streets by moonlight. Oh, also Silverspintry. Silverspintry are more valuable and usually display scenes of debauchery on their reverse side. The rest is the same as the other Spintry. Also, while I'm here, Mr. Dr. Ibn al-Adim, here's your documentation on the lore of Lantern. I might as well work on this grill thing too. An extensive treatise on her. Can I please stop getting glimmering? Alright, I wanted to use that contentment. Let's go to the Orchard of Lights and get ourselves a forgotten crop. Last night, I walked in the Orchard of Lights. I plucked the fruit, which is always ripe, and consumed it in 2 bites. The taste is not to be forgotten. As I licked the glowing juices from my fingers, I saw a message carved in the bark of the tree. When I woke, I recorded that message, all I could remember, in my diary. So we are very much solidly in mid-game at this point. A friendly visit from Pop. This is the time, my dear. The sun in rags requires this conclusion. Will it be you, or do you have a friend? What a loyal friend you have here. Do say goodbye now. Not at all concerning. But to be fair, he was gonna go crazy anyway. Was Poppy Winter aspected? You can't... none of the patrons reveal their aspects to you. I don't know if that means they don't have aspects, or if they're... or if that's just not how the game intends you to use them. Or if, you know, you just don't know that aspect. You can't use them for your things anyway, like, they are very much the closest thing you can get to NPCs in this story. So I would imagine she would be, but you never know. I need to remember to actually think before I go do work. If I want to actually resurrect someone. That's a happy ending for that pawn then. I don't know about happy. It is unending. I don't know what they're planning on doing exactly. Anyway, pulsing airs from the Orchard of Lights. The hours have been called unmerciful, but they permit sleepers sometimes to walk in. But they permit sleepers sometimes to walk in the Orchard of Lights, where each fruit glows like a sunset, where the roots of the trees are shaped for peaceful rest, where the mist soothes the heart. I was there last night, and the taste of the fruit lingers, sharp and sweet as the passage of spring to summer. Not the most useful thing to me, but I guess I'm glad I have it. Alright, we're burning one contentment on this dread. My follower is gone. I remain. Popula's cell is seen, here and there. She may have more to say to me. So, she can't... so she only ever takes one accomplice, but she will offer me commissions now. Which I guess is nice. Anyway, burn my dread. And actually remember to do a fucking summoning, Gojel. And hopefully the voiceless dead are feeling cooperative for once. It's kind of a shame that I can't subvert this chilly atmosphere, because it's gonna turn into dread and that's gonna be annoying. Well, there's a solution to the dread. Just burn my dread on some fascination. It is funny that you can't, that you can cure crazy by counterbalancing it with depression, but you can't counterbalance depression with crazy. It is kind of interesting. I'm actually gonna try and summon a second one. Now I can't help Madame Bichette. Also, Suloshana can't give you commissions, unfortunately. God damn it. You piece of shit. You know what? Crocus Hill. The ancient tribes reserved this resting place for one who, by the end, in service to a certain merciless hour, was more scarred than man. They sealed the entrance with binding songs and murdered blood. Let's send our dead out. The one who came here before us had marked the door in the hillside, and here it may yet be buried, and here it may yet be, but it is sealed besides with stone and binding spell. I'm gonna send a forge person with the dead. Chances are that's wrong, but oh well. I have sent 2 funds along. That should be enough to at least help push the operation forward. While I try once again to summon one of the voiceless dead. Okay, so a warded door, forge or knock will defeat it. An engineer or an adept has ensured this door will not open easily. Forge or knock will defeat it, so that's just 10 forge. Easy enough. I guess the dead isn't useful for anything, but that's fine. Early night sleep, who knows, might help. We call upon the Forge of Days, who will end all night, will almost certainly shatter this warded door. Oh look, I did get a second Walking Dead out anyway. Restlessness means start painting. All doors must open, as all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. And I guess we'll send this voiceless dead on an expedition anyway. It won't help, but it will stop the timer from running. Which means I get to keep him around longer. Which is nice. The warrior... One second. The Warrior's End. I'm back. The Warrior's End. It is almost possible to stand upright in this place, but the air is foul and our lamps burn low. Here is the Warrior King staked out on the funeral stone, his bones smashed to keep him from walking. The orbits of his skulls are bound with bronze. This better not give me more dread. pretty sure I haven't read that yet, but it's others have been here before us. Power still lingers, and no doubt they used it in their ceremonies. They have taken some of the warrior king's funeral treasures, but left something of their own. Alright, Leo, start eating that notoriety, please. The Book of the Centipede. In the mid-1860s, when Madame Yi has presented an entertainment based, she claimed, on this book. I'm just gonna translate that, and Caglin Scratch. 1 Peepald Pigment, some Kraydon oil, that I can actually use, I think. Nope, no I can't. A Meteoric Bullet, Bone Flute, Caglin Scratch. Here the Romans dug for silver, until they reached the unsanctioned space where the names hid things not fit for sunlight. Many others have come since then, even as the tunnels crumble. Some have never left. We prepare for the descent. We bring rope, tools, light. We arm ourselves against anything down there that may yet move. I need to figure out how to handle these tools. I never quite know what to do with them. Forge our lantern, and a fretful dead. Let's send Bob Clifton over. I will send Katkaro after him. We call upon the Watchman, who illuminates. The Watchman will lend virtue to our lamps, that they will show us the paddles to avoid. Proper. Well, not good enough. Nope, we call upon the Watchman who navigates. The Watchman will clear our sight, so that we can almost certainly pass without error. I just realized the flavor text gives you some clues on what aspects you should send. And that's why you read, as it turns out. The Book of the Centipede. The centipede always found her way into the dark places. When she was punished for it, she reacted badly, in the monsters as in Mia. I don't know what Mia is, but I guess we're gonna find out. Honestly, I want these tier 6 lores mainly so that I can start subverting shit like this. Eat the notoriety so that it doesn't get in our way. And we're safe across the treacherous ground. Nice. And now we have the fretful dead. Not all the dead rest easy. These ones dislike our intrusion. We can prevail against them with edge, or they may obey one who comes in the name of winter. The river runs through the sands out of myth and into legend. painted river runs the other way. One is barred through the centipede now, but she finds ways back in, sometimes. We call upon the ivory dove, who knows the names of all the dead. The dead circle the edge of our vision like frayed dreams. The very air around us is chill with winter's shadow. They must recognize that. We're gonna let our voiceless dead explain to the dead that are just naturally here why they should leave us alone. I'm sure that will work out great. Look, Mr. Hunter, if you have a problem with what we're doing, you can explain it to Leo. The wary dead. The dead draw back. Their almost faces flat and watchful. They will not trouble us. Once a lady, the air is stale and dust sifts worryingly down from the rock above, but the dead lie still. This chamber and its chalked figures, with its chalked figures and ancient stains, looks promising. In a lead-lined sarcophagus lies the skeleton of a woman. She wasn't buried here. It looks like she crawled in to die. Something has happened to the shape of her skull, pushing out the jaw like the muzzle of a beast. Scraps of rotten linen swathe her bones. Treasures lie among the remains of her clutching hands between her ribs. Alright. Cracked wildering and a beater's blade. Next, Caladrin Lake. Beneath the surface of the lake, or in some cliffside nook, perhaps some relics remain for us yet. That looks like it's gonna be a hidden vault, so probably lantern then. The sun in splendor, the hour who once ruled the Munces, was known to walk in the orchard, before his terrible division. Sometimes his remnants walk here still. Sometimes I see the chilly radiance of the meniscate through the trees, or the chilly radiance of the sun and rags. Were they to come upon me, it might be my end, but to see them in the distance is a gift of insight. Stop it with the restlessness already, game. Let's see. Ooh, a younger sister. The mother of ants was born among serpents. She has so very many younger sisters. It can be defeated in battle, or it will respond to the mother's power. I think we're gonna deploy the mother's power against it, which is actually the knock element, or aspect. Mostly because I think that's more interesting. We call upon the mother of ants, who encircle us. The serpent is long enough to coil around a cottage. Its fangs glisten like ice. Probably it will respect the power we bear. How about we improve the odor? We call upon the mother of ants, who arisen from wounds. The serpent's mouth is large enough to crouch in. Its tongue is the thickness of a man's shoulder, but it almost certainly it will respect the power we bear. Oh, shit. Wasn't supposed to do that. It's so easy to just default to keeping that running without remembering that there's actually something you need to do. Oh shit, he's gonna find my notoriety. Oh well, it's not too bad. The serpent's sorrow. It lowers its great head. Moisture seeps from its lidless eyes. Is it weeping? What does it remember of its eldest sister, whose power we call upon? Why is a serpent the mother of ants? I have no idea. It just is. The chapel root. There are ruins beneath the water, just beneath, at waiting depth. This lake has risen a little in all these years, but not enough to keep us out. I should probably do something about that. But tentative evidence can't actually harm me. The chapel crypt is flooded, and the water soupy with old corpse matter. But at last we bring up a wax-sealed coffer. 18th century? No, older than that. No older than that. Is there a comma there or not? Let's see what's with it. The Orchid Transfigurations Volume 3, is that the complete set? Those indignities perpetrated by the deceitful fraternity of Oblivions. Something tells me the Oblivions are not very popular. Let's read that first while I look up how many Orchid Transfigurations books there are. And also while I go to the Lockwood Inn. Lockwood Fen, not Inn. The reeking murk of the Fenlands is ripe with furtive life. Taciturn locals still watch the sacred place of the small and secret gods. The ones that answer prayers. Out into the Mudlands. Somewhere, we are certain, is a shrine bedecked with precious odds. If the locals try to kill us, we are probably heading in the right direction. The Orchid Transfigurations. Volume 3 Noon. Got it, there are 3 of them. So we have the complete set, so we can start reading these. Not that there is a particular need to read them in order, I just like doing it that way. There is some value in it, to be fair. This we've already had. Burn My Bread. You Toast My Dread. I see. More Treacherous Ground. We've already done Lantern, so let's do Forge instead. Just to see what the difference is. I should have seen coming that would happen. We call upon the Mother God, who quells and quiets. The Mother God is an hour of forge as well as winter. Her power might quiet the unsteady earth. Will probably be fine. We call upon the Mother God, who cannot be unbalanced. We invoke the Mother God, an hour of forge as well as winter. We'll make our own path through. Success is almost certain. Those indignities perpetrated by the deceitful fraternity of Oblivions. It's not clear whether Crod, who is identified only by his initials, CROD I guess, was in fact an initiate of the Oblivious Order of Immortal Adepts. He wrote in the 16th century, after the Order, if he is to be believed, had passed the height of its power. 58! That they did claim inheritance of the traditions of the House of Leyte, but that they have disregarded both its most sacred and its most beautiful ceremonies where they are not found convenient. 59! Someone's unhappy. Oh my god, it's the Book of Grudges. And the Watchers are just Watchers. Now I share the right that the Order used to summon a Caligian spirit. In clear defiance of the Leafian tradition, they did not offer Knocklore with a Winter Initiate and a Malleus Imperative, but rather Winterlore with a Knock Initiate and a Malleus. It is not to be born. Oh. Well, we already have this right. And we get an Operation of the Declining Sun, which is a winter aspect, which actually is kind of nice. Anyway, translate this text. So we have high tier in 3 aspects. So I don't remember if it will take winter or not. Winter isn't murder, but it is. Well, it's picked moth. I guess that's fair. Not sure how two silent corpses are deceiving watchers, but though in fairness. They are kind of religious, so people literally coming back from the dead would be distracting, I guess. Right, the Orchid Transfiguration, the first volume of a compilation of quasi-Rosicrucian allegories, supposedly by Robert Flood. This is a later English translation, by me. The illustrations are certainly striking. They flush the skin and glow beneath the eyelids after the book is closed. The Orchid Transfigurations, Volume 1, A Feast. I'm not entirely sure why this treasures lie before us phase still lets you send something. Because it's not like it will affect the outcome at all. We must devour to be devoured. We cannot be undevoured, as we cannot be unborn. Volume 2, A Birth. Flood, or pseudo-flood, suggests alignment between the alchemical traditions of Rubedo and the older Grail traditions, through the Pine Knight's quest for the Cinnabar Cup. Yes, those are words. Oh, the Ring-Used Shrine. Here on a flat rock, inches above the marsh water, is a throne carved of yew wood, ripe with fungus, ornamented with tarnished copper. This is the shrine we seek. Apple green paint marks ritual circles on the rock. The remains of sacrifices past squelch beneath our feet as we search the shrine. In a little hollow in the throne rests an oiled bundle of treasures. This might interest you, Vay. I don't know whether to collect these or not. There are quite a few, Tantra. I'm assuming that is a plural word, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the Great Inn. I've almost forgot to read. On a crumbling cliff above a grey sea, the Great Inn squats until the day the seas come for it. It receives few guests, fewer since the Yodo closed its notorious library to visiting scholars. We can reserve rooms at the inn easily enough, but we can expect the locals, if they divine our intentions, to turn nasty, and if the library is still there, it will be well hidden. So there are quite a few Tantra, and I'm not quite sure if they're related to each other. I mean, They are related in the fact that they are Tantra, but if they are sequential in any way. I mean, not like the rest of the books have been that sequential anyway, but... Anyway, a warded door. We had one of those earlier, and we met it with Ford, so this time we will meet it with Knock. Oh, that's not great. Seek the cup in the birthing bed, the Pine Knight is told. The midwife at the birthing bed, to his amazement, is the Mountain Mother. In a fit of awe, he both gelts and flays himself. The vigilant storm bursts joyfully from the remain. The fuck? Volume 3, New. A long dialogue between the Mountain Mother and the Vigilant Storm describes the ways in which both mountains and storms end, and the protections they use against those ends. I'm guessing this is about a quite literal journey of how a name came to be. Though what kind of name I could not tell you. I gotta be honest, that gave me pause for a second. I should have sent the Dexter's Disciple. Oh well. Actually, that wouldn't have helped anyway. But we must use the knife, said the lion-throned one. The noose, the flame, the waking word against those who have passed the free-valve door. And so none may pass. That is our law, and the law of the sun. Okay, that wasn't helpful. I'm gonna go through the white door just to be safe. Because this might take a bit. And I kinda need those voiceless dead at the moment. Actually, fuck it. Sylvia, please don't fuck this up. We call upon the Horned Axe, who permits passage when passage is to be permitted. We are skilled in uncovering warded ways. We'll probably penetrate this warded door. We call upon the Horned Axe, who waits at the threshold. We bear a great power of opening. We'll almost certainly shatter this warded door. Meanwhile, let's just translate this Tantra. The death of a door. All doors must open. We've heard that before. more restlessness. The evidence has been dealt with, that's good. But, you don't need to. The Flayed Tantra. This Tantra is recorded as being spoken by an enigmatic individual identified as Peel, with many of the qualities of the mythological Naga. The Flayed Tantra played a notable part in Alexander Sparrow's paranoid pamphleteering. Peel was numbered among the great hooded princes, but it breaks with its brethren and followed the Thunderskin in the endless dance. Oh look, more restlessness. The White Library. The room is bleached and quiet. The chairs are pale wood. The table is topped with white marble. A low draft blows through the ill-fitting sea-facing casement. In winter, it must be insupportably cold. A white-painted glass case holds a shelf of books, wrapped oddly in coils of copper wire. Flayed Tantra. I guess it makes it easy if you're riding on shedded snakeskin from a Naga. I don't know if it's written on snakeskin. I'm not entirely sure what the lore is. Though I also not sure what Tantra are in general. I know kind of in general what they are, but like maybe you have some insight that can actually help me understand this better, Vay. Because I have to admit I'm a bit lost. Sometimes some of the books are exotic, 18th century pornographic. Others are botanists' journals. Some, however, have value for our studies. A yellowing note chucked into the spine of one reads, "Watch for me, J.C." Is that Julian Kuzley? Also, a Latin book, because of course. Tantra are meditation rituals in general. I see. Also, another Tantra, the Shaven Lock Tantra. On Matthias and the Amethyst Imago loss. Those who do not sleep. And the Concursum Diaries. Unhelpfully translated into feet again. And after we sell that, we go into Kadishim itself. And I'm just gonna let this expire. Once Peel had peeled itself, it had the ink it needed to write the Tantra. It had to face the wrath of its fellows. Here is the invocation it used to fend them off. Written on snakeskin and also apparently with snake oil. I can sometimes be incredibly imperceptive, apparently. Anyway, let's read the next one. Hey look, more fascination. My book is sold. Burn my crazy. And go into Kenosha. This 5th slot is not going to be relevant for this run. So don't worry about it. Kenosha. You're going to part off soon. Well, I'm going to end soon anyway. Drive through the downs to the coast where the Great Green Land meets Atlantic Grey. Search along the road for signs to Kenosha town. You will rarely find it, even if you have visited before, and its inhabitants guard their secrets with curse and cudgel and fast-bolted door. Slink along the streets to a once fine townhouse. Set up viciously case the back gardens. Odd stories circulate about the woman who lives here. She might be an adept, a collector, or even the rare thing called Empusa. We must be watchful. Well, they're at it. I might fix these next stream. Or at the end. These are... Lantern tools are annoying in that you have to fix them. I'm not sure why that is. Like, from a lore perspective it makes sense, but from a gameplay perspective... Oh look, another curse. The Shaven Lock Tantra, also known as the one who has shaven his head. This, the story goes, is the lord that even the shape-changing Vanadas rejected. The Tantra speaks glowingly of those who are prepared to abandon their old self to seek a new and higher self. It warns that once the change has truly begun, past the third mark, a return to the old self is dangerous and painful. You've done that Tantra before, it's not that... Wait, that's an actual Tantra? What is... Describe this similar to what you've discussed with me in October 2020. Man, I wish I was half as good at as you at remembering when we've discussed things. Whisper your secrets into the earth, burn them in fire, scatter them in the sea. Still they will cling to your hair, the Tantra caution. It provides an occult riddle that it claims is sometimes the answer to the riddles of the hunter's games. Not helpful, unfortunately, because I already have that answer. I guess I could I could paint something with the green oil though. Get rid of that before it becomes a problem. Actually send someone. Translate this book. So, another goddamn curse. The fifth eye curse. We need Heart or Winter to suppress this curse. And we also need more money because that was a free tier expedition. Those who do not sleep. The mystic Broadnax discusses the origin of the Sister and Witch and of the Thunderskin. The Sister and Witch were born in two wombs, one poor, one rich, across the sea. The Sister was stronger in the aspect of heart, and so their survival was assured. The Witcher was stronger in the aspect of Grail, and so they were not satisfied. We call upon the Elegiast, from whom nothing more can be taken. The Elegiast knows what is already lost. His power will almost certainly protect us. Elegiast? Elegiast? How do you say that? I'm going to go with Elegiast. Actually, it's an elegiast, because he writes elegies. So probably elegiast. The wonders of the English language, everyone. The curse clings. Oh shit. There is a price to be paid when one trespasses in a place like this. Someday soon the curse will tighten around us. Well, that's unfortunate. When the Sister and Witch came from the west, the Red Grail permitted their ascension, but then grew jealous of their power. It lured a great musician into the ranks of its names and caused him to be reborn from blood as a heart hour, so that the Grail might maintain dominion there also, but its victory is not assured. A new right, and a tier 10 heart lore. But also the fifth eye curse that I have to deal with. So I need to get some Hearten influence going, and I need to get that going quickly. The last room. Nothing remains to bar our way. Search the cellar first, then the upper rooms. We don't want to be trapped. Winter aspect works. Because winter aspect can become heart aspect. Right. That's not how that works. Yeah, I don't care. On the topmost floor is an altar to the sun divided, which could be one of many hours. Sweep the items there displayed into a garbage bag, and let's make haste into the back streets. Apparently nothing we found there was particularly interesting. Alright, you got it yet? That makes sense. I'll deal with the curse and then I'll wrap up. Well, I'll try to deal with the curse. No promises of success on this one. I'm gonna try and get some hard influence going, but this might be an ordeal. Later! Even in the snow, in the silence in the white without colors, life will never quite cease. Gather some pulsing airs. Because we need deal with this curse really, really badly. And the way you deal with this curse is by interweaving the rhythms and ceasing. These are the lessons the anatomist, the dancer, and the shaman all learn. Basically, we need high tier heart influence to deal with this curse. So, if I let this go down a bit until it almost expires, then I get more time for this to fucking trigger. The heart moves, the world moves. And yet, I want that stronger still. The third eye is a myth, or the pineal gland. The fourth eye is a mark in certain processes of ascension. The fifth eye now opens before me. Oh, do not let that expire, Dojel. We shall answer the fifth eye with an imminent. The sky is a drum. The earth is ready for its ecstasy. Meanwhile, I'm getting some dread. Because of course I am. It takes 20 seconds for this to lock in, so if I put this here now, I can take it out if it turns out this is not the correct solution. If I need it this instant. Because I would like my passion back, thank you. The curse has taken hold. Now the world, rotting, leaks light. With enough heart influence, it will be possible to turn aside the curse. And with enough heart influence means 15 or 21. Tap the drum and speak the words. I will close all my eyes until the chant is done. I guess we're making an uninspired painting after all. That got really bad there for a second. Meanwhile, Mr. Hunter is being a dick. But maybe we can burn that evidence before it becomes a problem. And the dread is fortunately mostly solving itself. My eyes are clear. The curse has passed. Far off, on the horizon, the storm moves like a watchful beast. Person I expected to go live hasn't gone live yet, so I guess I will have to raid someone else. And that seems like a good moment to do it too. Because this is being mellowed, the curse has passed, and it is time to take an end. Let's see if we can raid someone. I mean, we almost certainly can. The question is who. I don't wanna. Let's go say hi to Lucia, why not? Lucia is doing some magic, which seems like a good place to take this card, the card watching audience, to a different card game. I want to thank everyone who has come to chat with me and who has come to watch me. You are why I do this. I will at some point actually figure out how to properly end a stream. But until then, I have been Dojel. I'll see you next time, and remember, don't be a stranger, because that's my job. I'll see you next time. See you later.